time for Battles One, presented by the United States Marine Corps, and looking at some rookies, Buck. I feel like every week you're doing Jags games, I'm doing Chargers games, and I feel like we're seeing all these rookies play prominent roles and play at a very high level. The early returns on this draft class, this 2022 draft class, has been outstanding. But you've identified 10 early steals. I want to go over a couple of them here, a handful of them. And number one on your list is a guy I got a chance to see last week who was freaking impressive, man. Tariq Woolen with the Seahawks and the job he's done out of UTSA.
Look, I'm going to give Pete Carroll and John Snyder a ton of credit for what they've been able to do. They got back to basics when it came to the evaluations and the players that they brought in. They have a mold, they have a prototype, guys that they look for. And in Woolen, he certainly fits the mold. He's not quite as fast as Richard Sherman he's faster than Richard
He's
Sherman.
much faster, yeah.
But he's in that long, rangy mode that they like to have at corner. And what the Seahawks were able to do is they were able to identify his traits, put him in a system that works for him, and he has responded. Look, 4 interceptions in 4 straight games. He is making a ton of plays on the perimeter. And even though it's not always pretty, you can see him coming into his own. And so this is a great pick, a great fit for the Seattle Seahawks. It looks like they're getting back on track, not only with him, but with a handful of other guys that they brought in in that class.
Yeah, it's been an awesome class. 6 or 7 of those rookies playing, starting big roles for them. You look at him, you look at Kobe Bryant, the other corners playing in the nickels, done a nice job. Kenneth Walker's been outstanding. He went off against the Chargers the other day. The 2 rookie tackles and Cross and Lucas playing big roles. Boye Mafe's out there on defense on the edge playing a prominent role. So, again, they kind of changed this team overnight, and they're right at the top of that division right now. So hats off to them and the job they've done. Number 3 on your list, a guy that we've both seen this year up close and personal, and that's the Texans running back Dameon Pierce.
A grown man with the ball in his hand. You know, it's one of those things that when I watched him in Florida, I knew there was a place for him in the league. I didn't know he would be a frontline starter, let alone a workhorse running back. But there, when you look at just the clips, look at the physicality, the violence. This is what you want to see. He is executing big boy runs, setting the tone for this offense, being able to really run attack. DJ, last week to his game, he led the league in yards after contact, 414. He had more yards after contact than he had legitimate yards. And so that's how he's pulling through. He has enabled the Texans to kind of keep games close because he's such a battle-tested workhorse who really brings that physicality and toughness that you always want in an RB1.
Yeah, Buck, Dameon Pierce looks like a home run pick for the Texans. Let's keep going down your list here. Let's jump to number 6, and that's Patriots corner Jack Jones, who's been really an impressive guy. I know you've known him going back to high school from the Los Angeles area, was a 5-star recruit, started out at SC, got in a little bit of trouble, ends up at Arizona State where he played well, but I think now you're seeing kind of that 5-star pedigree show up with the New England Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a steal because he's a guy who never should have been a 4th-round pick. The talent suggested this dude is big time. He was a big time player in high school. He showed big time ability at college, but you had to work through some of the character stuff. Well, now you get him in New England and you put him in a system that allows him to really play to his strengths. This guy can do it all. He can play man-to-man. He can play zone. He has outstanding instincts and awareness. And you're seeing him get around the football, make plays, be aggressive. He's very disruptive. And so Bill Belichick has done a great job of finding a guy that certainly fits their system and finding a guy at a right value that, look, 4th-round player with 1st-round ability, that's who Jack Jones is.
I'm looking back through my notes from Bill Belichick. This is from 1991. I've referenced this numerous times. This was a scouting clinic they did with their staff, I believe, when they were with the Cleveland Browns, and what he looks for in different positions. And when you get to corners, a couple of the notes here, Buck, ball skills and judgment are essential, more so than pure speed and agility. And I looked at Jack Jones' combine numbers. He was 5'10", 6, 171 pounds. He ran 4.51. So this is not a low 4.3 corner, but this is somebody with unbelievable eyes and ball skills, something that Belichick has always coveted there. And also, he talks about some of these other things in here. He says you need to have one pure cover corner that can match up. And that's what he is. He can play any coverage. You can put him on any type of receiver. He's going to always be in frame. He's going to always make things happen.
And he does it. And he does it over and over and over again. And when you watch him play, you just see him just make a ton of plays, man, just doing what he does. Like in terms of like being able to jump routes, read routes, anticipate throws. He can play with his eyes on the man, or he can play with his eyes cocked inside on the quarterback. And the position is such a nuanced position where you have to have so many tools in your toolbox to be what we regard as elite. Jack Jones has a set of tools that could make him an elite player at the position very, very early in his career.
Yeah, how about that? They let J.C. Jackson walk. J.C. Jackson was not playing well for the Chargers. Now he's out for the season after tearing his patella. And here they are with Jack Jones playing at a high level, costing them next to nothing. Looking like a wise move on their part. Romeo Doubs, number 9 on your list from the Packers. Is this just Nabil putting this in there, or you actually really like this?
Well, I did like this. And now, to be honest, full disclosure, this list was done before the Washington Commanders game. If I watched him against the Washington Commanders game, I might not have included him in the top 10. Yeah, but he put a few balls on the ground in that one. Prior to that, though, he had a very, very solid performance for most of the year. But I think you have to understand exactly what he is. Not a number 1, more of a number 2, number 3. And for the Packers, they needed that. They needed dependable pass catchers. So he had been that to that point. Last week was not a good week, but I'm hoping that he bounces back. He allows me to make amends for putting him in the list, even though he didn't play well against the Commanders. But this is a solid player. We'll see if he can get back on track when they play the Buffalo Bills on Sunday night.
Yeah, they've needed him because Christian Watson hasn't been healthy. So he's been out there. He has made some plays again, a couple drops the other day. Well, it happens. All right, number 10 on your list, the Colts, Jelani Woods, big tight end out of Virginia. Somebody that I remember you were in love with him the first time you saw him, I believe, was the East-West. The first All-Star game you saw him at, and I remember talking on the phone with you and be like, dude, you got to do this tight end from Virginia, because I hadn't done him at that point in time, and he's been awesome.
He has been awesome, and even though like the production is kind of funny, right at the time of writing the article, he has receptions but touchdowns, and big body playmaker, a guy who is big, physical, has really improved tremendously on as a run blocker. And so as we think about this offense, evolving, now that they have Sam Ehlinger on the field, I mean, he's another guy who expands the strike zone. He should make it easy for Ehlinger to target someone over the middle of the field. This dude is huge. I mean, you talked about 6'7", post up, a guy who has a knack for putting the ball in the paint. I expect to see him put up big numbers, nice numbers, with the young quarterback taking over for Matt Ryan.
No doubt. And if you want to see the rest of Bucky's list, just go to NFL.com. You'll be able to find it right there. You can get the 10 steals. The early returns on this draft class have been outstanding, and Bucky's got 5 more names you can read about there at NFL.com. I do want to remind everybody, we've got Ravens-Bucks. That is coming up on Thursday night. You can watch it at 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Prime Video. It's also going to be available on NFL Plus. Speaking of NFL Plus, the floor is yours, Buck.
NFL Plus is the league's new exclusive video streaming subscription service. NFL Plus has your game day covered with live local and primetime regular season and postseason games right on your phone or tablet. NFL Plus is available in the NFL app and at NFL.com. Subscription plans start at just $4.99 a month. Fans can visit plus.nfl.com and sign up for your free trial of NFL Plus today.
Nobody does that better than Bucky Brooks. Want to encourage everybody all the Move the Six content. You can find it on the NFL's YouTube channel. You can find it at NFL.com, the NFL channel, or the NFL app. We've got you covered there. It's been fun as we kind of get into the guts of this season. I actually started watching some offensive linemen yesterday, so on the draft stuff, starting to get into it now. Probably, maybe we jump in that on Thursday. If not, for sure next week, we're going to start talking more about these prospects, and it's that time of year. Every year when Halloween's around the corner, I know, I better start to get going on these guys. So the work has begun, Buck.
Yeah, the work has begun because Halloween signifies 2 things. College football is coming to the ultimate moments, and candy corn. Candy corn is on the way. Candy corn should be in buckets everywhere.
Yep.
Candy corn. Make sure you get that candy corn, that sweet, delicious treat.
Yeah, Joy Taylor is a wonderful friend of ours, and she is dead wrong on candy corn. Candy corn is a very valuable candy as we get to Halloween. So keep that in mind. We're the Candy Corn Podcast of record. That's going to do it for us. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. We'll catch you next time right here on Move the Sticks, presented by Grifols Plasma Donation Centers.